The UFO investigators have failed to find a rational explanation for Matt Reed's memory loss.
We now have no good explanation to take to these two guys about what happened to them.
Or his puncture marks.
The holes that were found in his chest, what do you think about that?
What I saw was evidence of something like a scalpel.
What we possibly may have here is a case of alien harvesting.
Now, Daryl believes the marks found on both brothers after their alleged abductions could have been caused by alien harvesting.
Now, harvesting is a term that implies, you're like, when you say harvesting, I think of somebody's harvesting my kidney. You wake up in an ice bath. What are we talking about here in the history of ufology?
Harvesting is when the alien takes parts or pieces of skin, sometimes it's blood, sometimes it's a scoop mark.
So they're taking what, human body parts, tissue samples, is that what's going on?
They are doing at least that. Some people suggest that there's an involvement of some type of genetic manipulation.
On the whole, what this means is that ETs are carrying out certain procedures on human beings to evaluate things.
If the Reeds were victims of alien harvesting, Stephen wants to know more about the phenomenon and what implications it has on abduction cases in Indiana and elsewhere.
I'm more and more convinced that there's ET harvesting connected with these cases. I have a contact called Timothy Good, and he's an expert in this field. I believe by talking to him, he's going to be able to shed some light on what this is all about and explain why ETs are taking blood and tissue from human beings. So this new case that you've been investigating, is this the one where the young lady was cured of cancer?
Yes, absolutely.
Author Timothy Good has been investigating cases of abduction and alien harvesting for over 50 years, interviewing hundreds of eyewitnesses, as well as being leaked top-secret government information.
Now, Tim, the case that we're currently working on, two brothers, the Reed brothers, that have had missing time, puncture marks, tissue taken. Do you know of any other cases that are similar?
Well, there's a case in 2002 involving Chris Augustin, who claims to have had missing time, strange marks, for example. He woke up with a triangular-shaped bruise, as you can see here. There was also a series of puncture marks in a line here, which are interesting.
Just like the Reed case. Those sort of marks, is that pretty typical of what contact experiencers have on their body after an event?
Certainly involving abductions. There have been many cases of triangular marks, circular marks, and other types of strange marks which are inexplicable.
What other cases do you have that fit this?
There's a famous case from 1957, Antonio Villas Boas, who was abducted, taken on board a craft. Puncture marks were also found on him, where they had perhaps taken blood samples from him, according to this doctor here.
So this is his doctor examining him after the event?
There were actually two doctors who examined him in Brazil, and one of them was a friend of mine, a colleague, and he was absolutely convinced this was a genuine case.
With regards to all these cases, especially the Reed case, why is this tissue being taken?
I would think something to do with DNA, because I have been reliably informed by a Washington source that there is a hybridization program in process. A group of aliens plan to produce hybrids, combination of human beings and their own beings. If what I've learned is true, there is an intention on the part of these hybridizing species to take over the planet.
Wow. So this hybrid program that's going on, where is it going on? Because I can't see it.
There are huge underground bases under our oceans and underground in various countries.
Do you think it's because this race of aliens can't live on this planet?
That's what I have been told in Washington. The aliens have apparently created a hybridized species so that they can survive much better on the surface of this planet than hunkered down in their alien bases.
So, Tim, is it possible that there are hybrids walking down the streets of this town today?
Definitely.
Do you think this hybrid program could possibly have benefits for the human race? Could this be the next stage in our evolution?
Goodness knows what that could mean. Are we going to have thousands of aliens trying to be in charge of our planet? I don't know.
Who knows about it? Does my Prime Minister know about it? Does the American President know about it?
If there was one Prime Minister, I would say Margaret Thatcher, because she got to know Reagan very well, and Reagan himself had been briefed on the alien situation, and I'm quite sure that he would have discussed it with Margaret Thatcher. There's no question that a number of people have been very, very well informed.
Why do you think certain parties would want to keep this secret?
Because it's too shocking.
What's shocking about it?
What, the fact that there's a race of beings trying to take over this planet? Yeah. I think a lot of people would find that quite disturbing.
After speaking with Timothy Good, I realised the experiences of the Reed brothers is not exclusive to them. They are being harvested for DNA, for blood, for tissue, and that is happening to thousands of people all around the world. The ETs are taking this stuff and creating hybrid programs in bases underneath the ground, underneath the water. The scariest thing for me is that people in our governments know about this. This goes right to the top. He said, Tim Good said that Maggie Thatcher knew about this, Ronald Reagan knew about this, and who knows about this now?
The next day, the alien investigators head back to meet the Reed brothers to reveal their findings about harvesting and a possible government alien hybrid program.
So, guys, I was thinking, quite honestly, that we were going to find out that what had happened to you guys is that you had had periodic lightning strikes that had messed up your memory. But we also discovered that going back and looking at the weather records, that there's simply no way that there was lightning, especially in the area of Matthew Avira incident.
So I'm afraid I failed to come up with a rational explanation for what's been happening to you.
Also significantly, we talked to your doctor and he confirmed with us that there's no actual medical reason that would have caused this incident in 2009.
The fact that your experiences have come again after a gap of apparently 40-odd years, it would suggest that they may still be interested. There is something very, very special about your family that they're interested in.
Any ideas what that is?
I think it's to do with DNA. I think it is profoundly something to do with the future of humankind.
Stephen Jones tells the brothers about the possibility of a human-alien hybrid species.
Timothy Good told me that the ETs are using human DNA to produce a hybrid. And that's why they're interested in you.
After nearly 40 years, the Reed brothers now have been given some answers as to what could have happened to them.
Now all of a sudden they're investigating it with like a microscope. It's frightening to see there's actual patterns that's occurring with our family history. All I wanted someone to do was just listen to me and just accept the facts. Because if you look at the facts, then you can't deny it. You can't deny something happened.
After gathering evidence from the Reed brothers, their physician, and expert Timothy Good, the UFO investigators sum up the case.
Timothy Good told me that the ETs are using human DNA to create hybrids, and the government know all about it.
If the alien is come here and is doing a hybridization program, if that was happening, they're not here for our benefit.
I don't know. I think the DNA portion of this is interesting, but I'm not buying that theory yet.
To me, it's nuts, but it does make a certain kind of sense.
If you were going to come to the planet Earth, come all this way, and you couldn't really survive here, the way to survive would be to actually change yourself, physically change your bodies, and adapt to this planet.
That's right on the money. No point in watching the skies anymore, guys, because they're already here.
With growing claims of alien abduction and new evidence of alleged harvesting in secret extraterrestrial bases, are hybrids walking amongst us right now? Find out next time on Uncovering Aliens.